Manx Radio Podcasts, powered by Shaw.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's Countryside with Kiri Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. And a good selection this week from young to old-ish. Because you started at the Ramsey Grammar School Science Department. Was it a rural science department?
Yes, I caught up with some of the students in the rural science department to talk about their topics and growing potatoes and looking after the animals, and also the teacher Marion Cottier on the recent big award for the best school farm. Super day.
Yeah, so very enthusiastic, the kids were, and the teachers there and staff, and that's such a great facility they've got there to help people, I suppose, educate them and just give them a little bit of taster of how life can be on the farms when you may not come from, or may come from a more of a towny background, you know. I was at kite flying and sandcastle competitions and the Scruffed dog show. I love that. That was all happening amongst many things. Tanks with Wildlife in, with the great support of the Manx Wildlife Trust and many others at the Port Erin Beach and Sea Festival. So plenty to come on that. And, well, motorbikes, cars, cows, pool, snooker you were talking about, weren't you?
Yes, Roy Gelling, he competes on many levels, and after just having the Southern 100 past his farm gate, he's getting geared up to enter the agricultural shows with his barley and talk about his cows in the years gone by.
There we go. All right, well, here it is. Piece of cake and a cup of tea and Countryside.
Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Well, first this week, of course, the schools now have finished for their summer holidays, Kiri, but before they broke up, you were up at the Ramsey Grammar School. What was going on up there?
I went along to speak to Marion Cottier, the head of the Rural Science Department, and some of the children there to talk about the recent award they've been given.
It was a couple of weeks ago. There's a conference just for agriculture teachers based in the British Isles. There's about 113 schools now, from primary schools all the way through to secondary schools, with sort of farms of various sizes. And it was held at the Royal Agricultural University in Cirencester, which is an amazing place. I've never been there before, but it's phenomenal. I think if I had my time again, I'd quite like to go there, actually. It was a conference really for all these teachers, and a 2-day course, and they've got a chance to sort of meet other people and meet other rural science teachers who obviously are not on the Isle of Man, and sort of share resources and ideas and grumbles.
But you came away with the Best School Farm Secondary School Award. That is absolutely massive.
Yeah, we did. I'm still a bit gobsmacked with it, to be honest. It is a massive award, and I said there's sort of 113 schools sort of in the British Isles, and I look at some of the other ones and think, wow, they're amazing. They're so much bigger than ours. They've got so much more stock than ours. They've got so many more staff than us. Yeah, so much more money than us as well. It was quite amazing. But I suppose maybe it's a case of we're doing pretty well with what we've got.
But not only that, you were one of the finalists in the school farm leadership as well. That is a massive undertaking as a teacher.
Yeah, that one. I think even though we didn't win that one, I think that might be the one I'm most proud of, actually, because it sort of recognises that there is a lot of hard work that goes into it, and it's not just sort of turn up to school and teach your lessons and go home and take some marking home with you. Often it's a case of might be marking in the sheep shed, lambing, and you're just marking just to kill a bit of time before someone else decides to lamb.
But Ramsey Grammar has been the leaders basically in the rural science. You've been at it for a number of years now.
Yeah, it was as a result of the nomination for these awards. I sort of did a bit of research into the sort of the history of the farm and Ramsey Grammar School, and it's been here in one way or another since the school opened. It was in the 40s, just had our 70th birthday, so it was in the 40s it opened.
Because it's now a core subject here.
It is, yeah. It's been a core subject here for as long as I've been here. I've been here about 10 years now, and it was late 90s, that it became a core subject. So everyone in school, year 7, 8 and 9, have one lesson of rural science a week, and then they can opt to study it as a GCSE, do a GCSE in agriculture and land use. And if they want to continue further or come back to studying agriculture, we do a BTEC in agriculture as well.
So here at Ramsey Grammar, Patrick, this year you've been growing potatoes. Has it been successful?
Yes, it has. We've got a lot of potatoes, much more than we planted and expected.
So what did you do differently this year with your potato plot compared to last year?
Instead of having our own plots, we made one big plot so people weren't losing out.
So what would make the difference? Would you have wet weather and you wouldn't be able to go out and tend to the plot?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tend to the plot if it was raining, so when the next class come along they can do your plot as well.
So it works throughout the whole of year 8, you're able to look after the one plot. And Jack, do you know how many kilos of potatoes you got this year?
Around 400.
That's a big amount of potatoes from one plot,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And did you take any home?
Yeah, we took our section after the plot per class.
And were they difficult to grow though?
They needed a lot of care.
What kind of things did you have to do to look after them?
Like we had to keep on weeding them and putting more soil on top of them and just keep on top of the water.
And was water a big issue this year because it's been quite dry?
Yeah, it was.
And what about you, Owen? Which part of the potato topic did you enjoy the best?
Mainly just going out there and growing them, because it's good fun to get out of school and go to the plots.
And do you think rural science is a good subject to have in schools?
I think it is, because it's different, because a lot of schools don't actually have rural science.
And do you do anything other than the potato project?
We have sheep, and last year we done chicks, so we've got to take care of them.
And do you think looking after animals is quite a difficult job?
I think it is. We do help a little bit, but I think the teachers do a lot of hard work as well.
And which is your favourite part of the whole of rural science, Patrick?
Probably seeing the lambs and all that, and all the young chicks and stuff.
Would you ever believe that maybe one day you could be a farmer or someone involved in agriculture?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And what about you, Jack? Could you see yourself being a farmer?
Probably not.
But as far as a lesson goes, you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's quite relaxing because you just get away from others there, like inside and stuck inside.
But I see that they get their hands dirty. The children were talking about a potato project this year, and last year they were breeding chicks.
Yeah, we have sort of different topics every year, and it's sort of really a theme for each year group. So the year 7s, we try and sort of start and break them in gently, really. We're not going to start them off with the massive sort of 250 kilo pigs just yet. So we start them off with the little chicks, and it's sort of something nice and friendly and relatively harmless to sort of build the confidence up with handling animals. And we can sort of really teach them that you need to be calm and quiet and gentle with animals and just show them respect. And again, we grow plants with year 7s as well. We've grown some peppers, chilies and tomatoes this year with them. So year 7s are busy taking them away and taking them home at the moment. Every night after school they're coming and taking their veggies away.
But it's an opportunity these children might not get at home. You know, some of them might not have a garden or any outdoor space really.
We've got lots of students and there seems to be a growing number who want to have an allotment. We started off doing it this year, so in a small number of people. We've certainly had people already coming up to us again asking about next year that they want to do a sort of allotment club at lunchtime, and it's a case of so we can section off some of our plots and say, right, that's yours for the year, grow whatever you like in there, if that's yours you can come and look after it. So yeah, they seem to be quite keen on it, but yeah, you're right, there's lots of people who don't have access to it at home. Yeah, I think they're probably the ones that are maybe the most keen to be out and about. There's certainly a lot of people on the unit at the moment are from non-farming families, and there's quite a lot of them who I think sort of at the moment would like to go into agriculture in some way or another when they're older. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it's sort of opening up different doors to them.
To see that potato grow from a seed from a local farmer into a plant, obviously, and then to harvest kilos of potatoes and then take them home to eat them, it's quite extraordinary.
Yeah, we've always been sort of dead set that what they grow they take home. We're not selling it to them. So we've changed the way we've done the plots this year. We used to have them in little plots and they used to share them amongst each other, but we've turned them into 2 massive plots this year. So year 8 are using the plots and they're sharing all the jobs that need doing. So if it's weeding or planting out a particular thing, they do that until that's finished and then they move on to the next job. But yeah, potatoes have done particularly well this year.
Jessie, you're down here helping in the Ramsey Grammar Animal Unit. What are you doing here tonight? It's after school now.
Yeah, we clean the pigs out when we feed them. We just look after them in general.
And do you really enjoy it?
Yeah, I do.
What do you get from it that's any different than going now off to youth club or?
It's just what I like doing, and it probably helped me for the future with what I want to do.
And what do you want to do?
Probably a vet or more on the rural side.
What is your favourite part?
Probably the getting involved, that you're actually there and you can see it all happening.
And this year you've obviously had a very successful harvest of the potatoes. Was that a big topic?
Yeah, it was, to learn how to do it.
And what did you have to do to look after them?
We planted them and then it's knowing how to care for them.
And what about you, Millie? You're obviously down here looking after the big pig.
Yeah, we have 2 and they're really cute.
They are, aren't they? This one's a rare breed. Who is this you see here?
This is Emily, our pig. She came with the name Emily. Yeah, she's very cute. A Berkshire breed.
What do you enjoy most about the rural science lessons?
Well, coming out and getting involved, because like in lessons we do get involved, but it's outside in the agricultural area. So.
And when I arrived here this evening, you were busy putting eggs in boxes.
Yes, we have some chickens, and we've been trying to lay some because we've lost a few from polecats. But people have been picking them up and putting them in boxes, so we're going to have to candle them and see which ones we can use.
What's candling?
Candling is like when the chickens lay an egg and lay on them, the chicks happen inside the egg. So then we get them and we help them get till they crack because we've lost a few. So we're trying to get some more for September.
Oh, right. So you put them in an incubator then after you've checked if there's actually a chick forming?
Yeah, we put them in and then we look after them and we do mostly in year 7 you do a whole thing on the eggs and the chickens. So
it's something that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
And do you hope to be a vet or someone involved in agriculture one day?
Yeah, I really want to become a vet, so I like coming and helping out to get used to it.
But it must be quite difficult to keep the ideas fresh. Have you got good resources?
Yeah, I mean resources. You can't really buy anything specifically for rural science. So I mean, lots of other subjects you can buy resource packs. Obviously, you can adapt them and make them yours. But no, there's nothing that's produced for us. So everything we have, we've made or previous teachers have made, and certainly with this School Farms network, we've now got the chance we can start sharing resources, and hopefully that makes it a lot easier on everyone. I mean, there's 113 of us, and we're all writing the same kind of thing. We might as well share it, and it sort of cuts down on everyone's workload a bit. But yeah, I mean, other things you have to sort of be a bit creative, and we wanted to help the kids understand what it was like to lamb, and obviously the chances of getting all of year 8 in as a ewes about to lamb is pretty slim. So we had to think about a way we could get them to experience lambing without maybe necessarily being a real sheep. So we've got our lambing simulator that we made, which is a black bin with a black bin bag in it, and it's got a load of water retaining gel that you normally use for plants. And we put loads and loads of water in there, so it's turned into real nasty, slimy stuff. And it's got some plastic bags in there, and they're meant to mimic sort of membranes inside the uterus. Plastic bag gets closed up with a rubber band, so hopefully it feels a bit like the vulva which you're putting your hand in. And we've got a couple of cuddly lambs that have been sacrificed to the bin. The students get a chance to get their hand in there, put a bit of warm water in there to make it a bit more realistic, and they put their hand in there and find these lambs, and the other students try and help them sort of describe how they're going to get this lamb out. What can you feel? Can you feel a leg? Is it a front leg? Is it a back leg? And yeah, it's more difficult than they think it's going to be because obviously they can't see it.
What is their reaction?
They think it's gross, but they all want to have a go.
So where do you go from here? This is back to the award. It's the best school farm secondary school. Can you top it?
Well, I think there's still stuff we can improve on. I think I look at it, and I always look at, because I'm here every day, and I just sort of see all the things that need doing and things I haven't got round to yet, and I kind of forget about the things that we have done. So yeah, there's loads of things I still want to be doing. It's definitely not sort of the end just yet. There's lots of things I'm looking forward to doing in the next few months. We've got a few plans, hopefully, if they work out.
That was Marion Cottier and some of the students from the rural science class.
Up there at the Ramsey Grammar School, of course, and they're so proud of that rural science facility they've got there, aren't they? Because I've been there a few times before, and a lot of them aren't from farming backgrounds. A lot of them live in Ramsey themselves and maybe only get to the odd agricultural show or a friend's farm or something like that. But they're so proud of helping out and learning about how life is, and probably learning how much harder it is than they realise.
It really is. They come before school, and some of the children will stay after school and help. But they absolutely love the interaction with the animals. They find it relaxing. And some of the children just love getting dirty or having that opportunity to grow their own produce and get in the soil and plant the seeds and actually see something grow right in front of their eyes. And Marion has got the enthusiasm as well, which brings these children to the fore. They're really, really great school for it.
I know. They all love the mucking out with the grep and the wheelbarrow.
Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Well, I was out and about watching some junior dinghy racing, kite flying competitions, sandcastle competitions, the Scruffts dog show. Yeah, where was it all? It was all happening at the Port Erin Beach and Sea Festival. Well, Marine Officer for the Manx Wildlife Trust, Laura Howe. It wouldn't have been the same without you here, and it's a big presence by the Manx Wildlife Trust, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's the biggest event that we run with the mega tanks here, so it's really nice to actually come back to the Marine Lab where it originally started years ago.
Were you ever in the old Marine Lab working?
I was indeed. I did my degree and my PhD here, so it's home from home.
But back here today as part of the Port Erin Beach and Sea Festival, and it's mighty busy in this marquee.
It is, yes. We've got lots of people come to see all of the animals that we've managed to collect with the help of the local divers and Discover Diving. So, yeah, really busy.
Is it difficult to find a variety that's in the... Are they touch tanks, they call them? Or viewing tanks?
Viewing tanks, yes. I mean, you can get the opportunity to have a touch, but obviously under supervision, you know, we've taken the animals out of their natural environment. We want to minimise the impact to them as much as possible. So it's very supervised touching of animals.
What have you got in there amongst the crabs and things?
We've got some really big lobsters this year. We've got loads of urchins. We've got some brittle stars. We've got loads of rock pool samples this year as well, so lots of shrimps and prawns. We've got some wrasse, some flatfish, which came out of the bay here, so place. Loads of different bits of pieces for everyone to come and have a look at.
We've got a young man here who's been looking in the tanks. What's your name?
Sebastian.
And what have you seen in these tanks here?
Lots of starfish, sea urchins and crabs.
Yeah, have you touched any of them yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it scary?
No.
The parents are looking more scared about you touching them.
I guess so.
Yeah. And what else have you seen so far down here at Port Erin?
We're on holiday here, so...
Oh, you've come from away? All right.
We come from Germany.
From Germany? Wow. Is it your first time on the Isle of Man?
No, I got born here.
You were born here? Okay. Do you like Port Erin then?
Yeah, it's I think the best beach in Isle of Man.
And a quick word with Dad too. It's a busy time at Port Erin here.
Yeah, that's very good. Lots of people wanting to learn about the sea, what's happening.
Coming from Germany, I suppose, limited with the sea trips, are you?
Well, we do it every year. We're very landlocked, unfortunately, where we live, work-wise. But, so it's nice to have some sea interaction at least once a year.
What about the family? They enjoy these sort of adventures. I mean, it's got some nice coasts and areas on the Isle of Man, but this is a special day, isn't it, where you can actually see them in the tanks?
It's nice for the kids having biology in school soon to have a bit of an idea what's going on. Yeah, it adds a different dimension to it.
Well, Phil Cole, Friends of the Earth, you've got a nice little stand here as well with a message and a bit of fun to get involved in.
Yeah, it's Ian Costain there's done a grand job of setting up buckets with environmental problems on, and you throw cuddly toys at it. It's as simple as that. If only the environment could be sorted out so easily. Kids love it, and parents, you know. So
it's to be part of it, and you know, not driving the message right into the head, but making them aware of it, and that's the idea of your presence. Yeah.
Well, the idea was, I mean, it's a fun game. The kiddies come along. And Ian's been speaking to the parents at the same time, you know, and so pointing out little issues. I mean, the youngsters don't really get it. They're just knocking the buckets down. But the idea, and he's kind of stacked it up into ideas. Garden wildlife, it all mounts up with pellets and things you put on the garden, insecticides, herbicides, you know, taking away chemicals and things. It's just gentle messaging.
And as well, I suppose part of it is looking after the coasts as well around here, keep an eye on things like that.
Yeah.
And I think the Isle of Man are making fair strides in nature reserves and things, I think.
Yeah, well, the DEFRA's got this Marine Nature Reserve consultation out at the moment. I'd encourage people to look at it, and they want people to input on it, and it's a good idea because there's going to be a lot more sort of protected areas around the island, which encourages better fishing, because you get a lot more sort of seeding off it and spreading out more if you've got protected areas where it's not getting damaged so much.
Andrew Buchan from Port Erin Lifeboat Station. It's great that this facility's open today to show everyone around.
Yes, nice to have an occasional open day. The doors are open for everyone to come in and have a look around.
This boat, though, it's a rib type boat, this one. Is this unique to the Isle of Man? Does the lifeboat side of it go?
This boat itself is unique to the Isle of Man. There's a small inshore boat in Port Mary, but this is the only rib. It doesn't look like a traditional lifeboat, but it is. It's just unfortunately got a inflatable sponson goes around the side, keeps the weight down, but we can get out in pretty much any weathers in it, so it's pretty good nick for us.
But I mean, I suppose you have training regimes and things like that, but I mean, how often does it have to go out in anger? Is it just sea or boats that you have to deal with?
No, it's not just boats. There's all sorts of activities near the waterside, and people walking the cliff paths, and you could get into difficulties, anything from even a pet just falling over the edges to we'd have to go out and sort of see if we can recover the pet to discourage the owners to try and clamber down and sort of get into difficulties themselves, to divers, kayakers, yachtsmen, all sorts of people that use the coast. Even in the summertime on the beach, there's little ones going out in rubber dinghies and you get blown out to sea and we have to go and pull them back in.
Is it worse this time of year when the school's finished?
When school's finished, it's you have to keep your eyes open a bit more, I suppose, because there's a fair few, and if you're not watching the wind, if it's an offshore wind, they'll be swept out to sea in the blink of an eye. Yeah.
Do you get many people coming in, or have you had many today saying, how do I join and help out?
We don't get too many. We really are looking for people to join up, because numbers are down a little bit. We're all sort of getting to my sort of age where you're sort of getting towards the other end, and we need people coming in at the beginning to become crew members. It is a great life to be a lifeboat person, so if you are interested, anybody, we'd be more than pleased if you popped in and sort of showed some interest, joined up maybe.
Well, Steve George, you're one of the organisers, I believe, of the event. It looks like been quite successful so far.
Yeah, it's gone very well. Of course, we're very lucky with the weather. That's been good, because that that can make or break one of these events. Yeah.
The great thing about it is I've been here for a few hours today, and there just seems to be something for everyone.
We've always set out to have something for everyone, but what we do is we get sponsorship, and then what we do, we use that sponsorship money so that everything that happens on this beach is free to the children. So the parents don't have to put their hands in their pockets at all, and it's all free.
Yeah, it's marvellous, because some of the ones have been trying to scratch for change, waiting to go on the bouncy castle with their kids, and they said no, it's all in.
It's all free.
Yeah. The great thing about it is it's fun for everyone, and there's the educational side to it as well, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And everyone around this area is fully behind you on what you're doing?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, very much so.
Some of the people enjoying a fantastic weekend at Port Erin at the Beach and Sea Festival, and what a fabulous idea to try and bring some new activities and sports and games to entertain everyone, young and old especially.
Well, this is it. The children love getting out and about at the weekends, and this island is full of activities now, and with the use of the internet and websites and radio getting everybody brought together, these events are really taken off.
And I should have brought my stunt kite down. I've got one at home that we fly out. Plenty of wind at Derby, of course, to do it. Yeah, but good pastime as well. And it's nice when you go abroad and things and see these big massive box kites and things they've got there. Anyway, that's enough about kites. You went to see Roy Gelling, and he is involved in all sorts of activities, Kiri, isn't he?
Yes, Roy is a very busy man. He's just had the Southern 100 past his farm gate, and I caught up with him to talk about the show days in the past and also his involvement in the show coming up.
I've showed since 1966. I haven't showed much in the Southern in the last couple of years, but I've showed every year since 1966 at the Royal Manx. I haven't missed one The most I've had in is 18 down Solby, 2 wagon loads.
A lot of work would have gone into preparing them cows, though.
You didn't think nothing of it when you're young.
That's very true. But what would you have had to have done to get them ready for the show?
Start about 3 weeks before. Yeah, sorting out which ones you're going to bring and everything.
Would you have had to have fed them, like they seem to have special diets now of all sorts of these bought-in feeds and whatever, but the breeds were a bit different back then?
Oh, yes, it's all. When it started off first, it was all Shorthorns, and then the Friesians come in, then the Friesians and the Holsteins took over then. And now the mixture of all sorts now. Like there's all sorts, I say they are now.
But do you think that the Dairy Shorthorn then, she was a fine milking cow, and here at Blount you won a very big award with them?
Yeah, I won the Gold Cup for the northwest of England. I was runner-up 1 year, and I won 3 years in succession, and I was runner-up the 5th year, and it was valued at 20,000 then. It was only a solid gold cup.
That was a massive achievement.
Yeah. In 1966 or 67 I bought the dearest cow ever sold in the Isle of Man, 165 guineas. That was dear in them days.
And were you milking heavily?
Yeah, I had about 2 dozen Shorthorns. But when I was a young fella, everybody had Shorthorns. And then the Friesians come in, they had half Friesians, and then it got to be they had all Friesians, but I stuck to the Shorthorns. We did try 2 Friesians, he bought them off Mr. Anderson. He had a sale and he bought 2. And they went to patch on the Shorthorns for us.
And would the cows do well off grass? Is it a good grass farm here in Blount?
Yeah, they'd never get any special feeding, not in the summertime. No. When you were going for a record, I had the first cow to give 2,000 gallons in the Isle of Man. I had to feed her special.
But they always were good-natured, you could handle them well, though.
Nice and quiet.
I seen in the show catalogue that you just showed me here, Roy, that the Shorthorn was the only cattle breed in the catalogue back then.
Yeah. When I was going to school, there was hardly any black and whites anywhere. They only come in, I don't know, around about after the 1900s they come in.
And this year you haven't entered the cows, but you've got some entries in the show, though.
And fields of barley. Yeah.
They'll be a bit easier to handle.
Yeah.
And do you think the breeds are changing? You see an awful lot of continental cattle in particular, and the temperaments. Would the Shorthorns have ever played up as much as you see these breeds do nowadays?
No, but I don't think the handles are good now. They ran 30 or 40 together and never handled.
But even then, though, Roy, the judges, they'd come from the UK to the Isle of Man to judge. Yeah. You know, it's a big undertaking to take part in front of such a good judge.
Yeah, they're all good judges, and you always get the judge off the breed, so as you know what he's looking for, which is a good thing. And you don't know anybody.
But to win an award at the show, Roy, what does it mean to a family farm?
Oh, it's wonderful at first, but you get used to it. You expect to win all the time.
But it's the effort that goes into it, the breeding and what goes on at home that people don't see maybe on that show day.
No, you've got to be kind to the beast or the sheep or anything to get them in good condition.
That was Roy Gellan from Blount Farm in Bollabeg.
Mighty snooker and pool player too.
He certainly was. He's not missed a game in 63 years, he was telling me.
Really? Yeah.
Really.
It's a mighty achievement, isn't it? And such respect that he's got as well, and because he's quite a dominant sort of figure, isn't he? He's very tall and he's very knowledgeable and follows and supports everything, which is really nice, isn't it? He goes to the shows. Why? To support them, and a class that there isn't anyone else, is there?
He's very competitive,
yeah.
I think, and especially in the days gone by. He had up to 18 cattle at one show, and that's a lot of work to prepare them, wash them, and halter train them and get them there for that day, let alone showing them on the day.
There'd have been a few tokens using the old car wash to get that lot done before the show, wouldn't it?
Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Well, there we go. A very pleasant countryside this week. Port Erin Beach Festival. There was loads of activities for young and old going on there, and some unique ones as well that were happening with good to see the kites and all going out there as well. And the Isle of Man, of course, not many days when there's no wind.
Yeah.
So an ideal one for that. They should have more of it. And Roy there's... I'm not sure he'd be as competitive as he used to be, but what a campaigner and a gentleman in sport as well, and in all roles of competing and showing at the agricultural shows.
That's right. He's an ambassador towards the shows. He's a life member of both the agricultural shows and of the Southern 100 races. And he's not giving in anytime soon with his barley, all ready to go next week to the Southern Agricultural Show.
Yeah, and what a facility at Ramsey, isn't it?
It's brilliant to give them a chance to have a hands-on. Maybe they've never grown anything, but to see something grow, it's quite unique and really rewarding, isn't it?
It is. Okay, we'll leave it there for this week's Countryside. We'll be back next week. So for me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kiri Kermode.
We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Don't sit in the slow lane. Join the fast lane right now with Shaw's all-new Superfast Plus broadband. Enjoy more bandwidth, amazing speeds and the best value on the island from just £23.95 per month. So don't be left behind. Get a piece of the high-speed action with Superfast Plus broadband from Shaw. For details, visit our stores in Douglas, Ramsey and Port Erin or click shaw.com. Love being Shaw. Terms and conditions apply.